Speaking about getting financing and building a company from nothing, we have a really interesting report for you. Producer Frank Boris profiles Kenton Clarke, the president and CEO of Computer Consulting Associates International in Southport. This company has grown to a $24 million a year business in the highly competitive high-tech world.
My father and my grandfather actually was a first-generation businessman in Bridgeport. They ran a trash hauling business in those days. Grandfather started a business around 1930, 1940, so he was one of the first African-American businessmen in the city of Bridgeport. Subsequent to that, my father took over the business, and as a young boy, myself and my brothers, we also worked, in that business. So I think there's some influence there that, we're just kind of a natural breed to be an entrepreneur. I think it's probably a combination of whether being a Boy Scout, whether going to the Boys Club, whether playing in drum and bugle corps. I think all of these things added up to, the final product. So where I can't maybe identify something specific or one life event that turned me around, I would say that, along the way, I've had a lot of good information and some discipline activities. I think is probably the key that contributed to having, me run a successful business. Everybody knows little matchbook covers have all these kind of correspondence school things on it, but back in my day, I saw one that said, become a computer programmer and make $10,000 a year. At the time I looked at it, $10,000 was like more money than anyone made. I mean, nobody made a five-figure income, at least no one that I knew. So I said, I'm going to become a computer programmer. When the internet came alive, not only could we find resources in Connecticut and Westchester, New York, but we can find them across the entire country. So now, instead of just being a local company, what we became was a national company. So now when we had a customer, say like IBM, where we're only servicing them in New York, now we had the capability of servicing them in the entire country. Now we have people in 18 states because we can effectively go out, source, recruit, and find the talent anywhere, whether we have a physical presence or not. So the virtual space that we have on the internet has really allowed us the capabilities to grow. So now the company started moving at 40–50% growth in the last three years. But fundamentally, what div2000.com is an internet portal for diversity business owners and corporations that are looking to expand, their reach with multicultural businesses. So we put that out there as a service to assist, basically smaller companies to find, marketing opportunities amongst the Fortune 1000 companies.
He has a great story, and I think we, along with the bank and me personally, and Kenton, we all have a history of community service, and Kenton is a person I think that you can look to and say, here's an individual who's giving back to the community and be proud of that.
The reality of, when you're successful, you're at a point where you can actually influence, and do things that you can't do without money. So I think that people who have that concept in their mind that, once people have made it, that they're not a part of the community anymore, that they're gone, they're away, they're actually in the best position to help other people. Quite frankly, we may be the only one who's going to hire professionals out there. So I think the opportunity to work for a multicultural business, if you're of, certain ethnic groups, is an opportunity. But I think being black is one of my value added. I'm going to stick out a little different than some of the other people. When people find out that I can walk, talk, and perform just as well as any African American company, I think that sticks in their mind. When they find out what the real technical capabilities are, of myself or of my company, then they're impressed. Unfortunately, if you're a multicultural business, you may not have that first contact. So you might be starting with a great idea or a great product, but now you're pursuing your first customer. So you don't have that jump start. And the first couple of customers are critical because, most people, especially multicultural businesses, don't have enough capital to stay for long in the game without revenue. And that's very different than maybe some other businesses that can tap different financial resources. Our next move is to become a more global player, in the arena that we provide. But more importantly, there's a lot of opportunity with .com activity. So we're going to start developing additional properties that make business sense on the internet. That's really where a lot of the fun is, and that's where over long periods of times revenue will come.